They say a problem shared is a problem half solved. I say a problem articulated is a problem that has a chance of being solved. Today on Next Level World Creation, we're going to be talking about ideation, which is our part 3. Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. And if you've been following this series, thank you for following it. Let me know in the comment below if it's adding value to you. And if it's your first time watching my videos, make sure you catch up on part 1 and part 2 because this is a 3-part series. And today, part 3, we're going to be talking about ideation. Alright, part 1, it was about paying attention, because when you pay attention, you actually notice problems that might be around you that you might have been ignoring. Part 2 was about feel the pain, where you actually put yourself in the shoes of the people that have the problem, and if it's your problem, it's even easier to feel the pain. And part 3, we're going to be talking about ideation in creating the next level of world creation ideas. Now, the process of ideation starts with problem articulation, which is why I said at the beginning that the problem well articulated is a problem that has a chance of being solved. So when you quote it, actually give me credit for that quote. So now you want to be able to write down that problem that it is that you have noticed, and you want to articulate it clearly. There's something magical about articulating it either on paper or on a document or Word document or whatever device you use, and being able to spell it out clearly. By the time you spell it out clearly, it actually even opens you up to maybe things you were not even thinking about before. And in articulating this problem, you want to be able to identify who has the problem, okay? What is the problem? Why do they have this problem, okay? And how you came about discovering this problem. So don't forget, you want to know the who, the what, the why, and the how. Now, for example, I shared last week that someone came up with an app for mothers who are looking for childcare for their children, okay? So who has the problem? Mothers. What is the problem? Childcare for the children. Why do they have this problem? Maybe they're busy moms, they have to go to work or whatever it is, okay? And things like that. So you need to be able to articulate your problem really, really clearly, and that will help you really spell out who your target audience or your target market or the person who has this problem that you are trying to solve, okay? Now, if you do a good job articulating the problem, the next step is going to be very easy for you. And so what's the next step? The next step is where you brainstorm ideas and what I call divergent thinking. What does this mean? It means that you just think of all sorts of ways that this problem can be solved, and they can be divergent, they can be different. So for example, the lady that had a childcare issue, and because of that, she needs childcare. What are the possible solutions? Number 1, instead of creating an app for childcare providers, why don't you create an app for example, parents with free time that can volunteer and take care of other people's children, or maybe something different. Why don't you create an app that would help her to maybe stop her job so she can make money on the side? Or do you see what I'm saying? Just diverge and just throw out all sorts of ideas. And then if it's something that you can get a few friends together, maybe buy them drinks or give them some chops and everything, and you guys can talk about it, and they'll bring in their different lived experiences, their different ideas into the process of just coming up with convergent ideas. At this stage, nothing is silly, nothing is stupid. It's just about putting everything out there, putting it down. I like the design thinking process. You can actually use that as a tool to go through this whole convergent thinking process, divergent thinking process. And so when you are done and you have like multiple ideas, you're going to be spinning with, oh wow, I never thought about that, oh wow, I never thought about that, or whatever it is. Now it comes to the next step, and that is the convergent thinking. So you take all those divergent ideas and then they begin to converge. At this stage, what you're doing now is you're looking at what are the top, maybe let's say the top 3 best ideas that for you resonates with solving this problem should I say better or the best way that you think possible. Okay, so you're narrowing down on all the divergent ideas and you're finding ways in which they can converge. Sometimes at this stage, you might take something from this one, take something from that one, take something from that one, and then come up with maybe your top 1, 2, 3 ideas, and you'll be surprised at what you will come up with. It will definitely be next level, like next level wealth creation idea. Okay, so when you've done a good job with going through the convergent thinking process, it comes to the final stage of ideation, which is what is called prototyping. Now, at this stage, it's really about creating maybe like a small mock-up of the in quotes idea. And this mock-up doesn't have to be anything expensive. Okay, it could just be drawing something on the piece of paper. It could just be writing something on a piece of paper. So a couple of weeks ago, a lady came to me and said, "Oh, Tale, I want to start a tech company." And I was like, "What problem do you want to solve?" Okay, because it's not about the tech, it's about the problem. And she said, "Okay, I want to solve a problem where I would help people get internships." Okay, I know a lot of people who graduated, they don't have work experience in internships. I said, "Fantastic. What you need to do, since you've identified the problem, you've articulated the problem, is get an Excel sheet. Write all the people you know who need internship placements, like all the companies you know who might be able to take them out, and start matching them." All right. I said you need to be able to see that there is a market. There are people who want this service and maybe who will pay for it. Okay. Before you go around spending money building something. So at this stage of prototyping or testing, it's not about spending something very big. It's really about how do you put it out there and begin to see. Maybe sometimes it might even be just share it with a few people you trust. Okay, I'm reading a book called Build by Tony Fadell, and one of the things he said is, he's the guy that created the iPod and iPhone, by the way. And one of the things he said is, wanted to start a new company called Nest that was going to do thermometers. And what he did was, after he'd done the whole process of brainstorming, blah, 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 he said he wanted to share the idea with a few potential investors he knew to even just test if the idea was investable, because he knew they would need a lot of money. And he said that by doing that, he already knew that, okay, he got a few green lights. He already knew that, okay, fine, this idea is investable before he started to even do anything about building it. So this prototyping stage is extremely critical. Of course, I know that some things are not as easy as that to prototype, especially if you're building a hardware. You can't just, just write something, but maybe you can draw it, or maybe you can make some prototype in a material that is not the original material and see how people react to it. Tony Fadell was saying that when he was building the iPod, they created like a foamy version of it to just sort of demonstrate how it will look and start to show people to get their responses. And so really and truly, at this stage of prototyping is where you get feedback. Now, don't go and lock yourself up and say, okay, I have a solution, I want to create something that's going to change the world. But the people who you're trying to change the world don't even know about it. You've not even engaged them, and you emerge. And then you suddenly realize, oh my God, what I've just spent my time building is something that people don't really need. You want to carry people around in this, along in this process of ideation, so that it will help you know how to maybe make adjustments, to whatever you're building, what you're designing, or how you're thinking about it, so that will then help you really create a problem, a solution that will solve a problem. That's going to be literally next level. I'm like next level thinking and next level solution. If you do it this way. Okay. So this is the third stage. Next week, I'm going to be sharing the final stage of this series of next level wealth creation ideas. I hope this is adding value to you. And if this is adding value to you, do me a favor, like this video, share this video with your friend, and let me know in the comment below. Stop keeping quiet. What value this video has added to you. And, share it so that the algorithm will get this video to as many people as possible. And thank you so much for watching. And I will see you again in the next video next week.